Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. In this one, we're going to check out my approach to lighting LEGO builds. Now, as I'm sure you can tell, I use LightMyBricks, but you can use whatever brand is convenient and accessible to you. There's obviously Brick Stuff, Game of Bricks, and a ton of other brands. And you can also solder your own if you want. Just get components off of AliExpress or whatever. But I've had good experiences with LightMyBricks. You pay a premium for those lights, to be honest, but you know, I've bitten the bullet and got myself a decent amount of stuff that I can work with quite well. So to get started, obviously you need lights. I recommend you get just a couple of regular white lights, not cold white, just regular white, because you can get a pretty good number of effects, even colored lights, with just white, so I found that to be very convenient. Then you need a power source. Obviously I would recommend a USB, and just use any old power bank that you may have at home and just plug that into there. And then to connect the power to the lights, you need some expansion boards. And I've gotten a couple of 8 boards, but you can cut them and you know, just make whatever size you need. So, you know, get whatever you find convenient and modify it as you see fit. And these are the 3 basic components. You don't need more than these 3 to get started. Obviously a power bank, but I'm sure you have one. If you want to get more effects, something that I've used in the past is a dimmer control board, so that lights aren't quite as bright. Another thing that I've used quite extensively, I've got that in that little setup here that I showed you in the intro, is a multi-effects board. And on that you have 3 different effects. We'll just go through them together. By the way, this is not an ad for LightMyBricks. I'm not sponsored by LightMyBricks. I bought these all myself. So yeah, one is the flicker effect. For candles and stuff, very useful. I use this in my Gothic MOC for the bigger torches and for the fireplace inside the little house. Then we've got a kind of emergency light. And the last one is just a pulsating light, like this. And they have individual boards for all of these effects, but I find it convenient to just get the multi-effects board where you have all of those effects in one, and you can just pick and choose. Now, you can also change the speed on these. I've got it very slow now, but you can speed that up, which might be convenient for your builds. But I found the flicker effect at the slowest speed to be very nice for fire scenes. That aside, the output on these has, well, it has one input and it has 2 outputs, and you can plug extension boards into those outputs, and those 2 outputs have the same effect but slightly offset in terms of timing. But all in all, very happy with this setup. And now to just get into the details of how to integrate these lights. I'm going to pick this one apart, and you should get the idea and be able to work that into your own models. So let's have a closer look. So we'll start out by taking the little candle off. By the way, if my lighting setup isn't as great as it was in past videos, apologies for that. My big LED panel broke, so I'm substituting with sunlight and a smaller LED light, which obviously doesn't get the same lighting situation. So yeah, we'll work with it for now, but I'll see to fix that as soon as I can. In any case, you can see the LED right there, and you can already see that this method isn't quite purist. I have drilled a hole through the stud of a 2x2 jumper, and here's a couple of purist options that I like to use that I can very much recommend. Using on the left the fairly recent, from just a couple of years ago, 1x1 by 2/3 brick that comes with an open stud by default. You can easily route a wire through that. And obviously there is the regular round 2x2 jumper that comes with an open stud by default as well. So yeah, these are just 2 little options that I would suggest as well. There's plenty more, and I'm sure you'll figure out something that works for you. Aside of that, it just simply goes through a Technic plate at the bottom. So very simple setup. One thing to note though is the LightMyBricks bit lights, the regular lights. They have smaller ones, but the regular lights do not fit through a stud, through a bar hole or anything. So you have to wire them with a plug first. So you have to essentially go backwards, and then you can just put it on there like so. And you've got a light, and you can, wire this through the back heel of a minifigure, which we'll just do. Let me get one. Let's take a figure. This is the approach that I was mentioning. Through the back of the heel, just plop the figure on the plate. You can see that easily connects. And then you can put, let's say in this case, I'm going to use a lantern. And if you use lanterns, I highly recommend you use a white brick. Just like this. And put your light in there, because that'll diffuse the light and make the light a lot softer, which is always nice. And these wires are thin enough that you can just plop them in and put a stud on top and kind of keep it in place like that. Connects pretty flush. You have a tiny little gap there, but that's usually fine for applications like this. And something I like to do is just to hide the wire as best as I can. Sometimes it makes sense to kind of go between the legs and then get it out like so. That makes it a little less visible from the outside, and not quite as visible from the front as well. You can just hide it a little better like that, and that's what I did with, I think almost all of the lanterns on my Gothic build. Right, and once powered, that looks like this. And you can see the light source isn't exactly perfectly oriented, so lower that a bit, put the stud on top, and there we go. We'll switch it out for the trans yellow one, just so that you can see the difference. That is the effect of a transparent piece, and you can see the difference to the white pretty clearly in my opinion, and I prefer the white just because of the diffusion. Right, another little quick insert here. If you want to route wires through walls, come on focus. The best way I've found is to use the 1x2, I think it also comes in 5 bricks tall, but in any case the brick modified with the rail cutout for garage doors commonly used on like LEGO City fire stations and stuff. And you can route a couple of wires through there. You can easily just, build a wall like that. Obviously Technic plate at the bottom, just cover it up. Doesn't need to be one of those same brick modified. You can put a regular brick on there, but the wall needs to be, unfortunately, 2 bricks wide. And then you can just take your little plug, even putting the next plate on top, take your little plug and route that through there. And it easily comes out the bottom. And then if you want to get the wire or the light out of the wall, best way I found to do that was either use a headlight brick or one of those a 1x1 brick modified with studs on 2 sides, so you can just route the wire through from the back and have the light come out the front, and then put it in whatever kind of, in-universe light source that you want to use this light for. Alright, and I think that is about it for this topic. Just a quick video today, but it's good to be back at it. Hope this video was useful. If you think so, feel free to give it a like, share it around if you know somebody that might find it useful as well. And new year, new build series, so I'm going to start something new in the foreseeable future. If you're interested in that, feel free to subscribe to not miss out on any of those videos. Bit of a different series, obviously not as big in scale as the Gothic model, but certainly something I think you'll enjoy. So until then, I hope you had a good start to your new year, are actively bricking, having a good time, and I will see you in the next one.